Hey G-Fans, GojiFan93 here, and I'm here to give my thoughts on the Godzilla King of the Monsters official novelization. So I just finished listening to the audiobook version of the Godzilla King of the Monsters official novelization, and I did that just because since I've read Skull Island and 2014, they actually didn't have audio versions available. I just wanted to see what it would be like to listen to an audiobook version with like a really good speaker and all that, and I actually really enjoyed it. I got a better experience, I think, listening to an audiobook version than just reading it myself, because what was really nice about it was I was able to listen to it while I was at work. So I just put my earbuds in and I was just able to listen to the story all the way through without having to take breaks or anything like that, because when I read a book, technically my endurance for reading books is very low, like really 1 to 2 chapters, and then I'm kind of tapped out. So it was really nice being able to just have someone, narrate the story. And the guy who narrated this audiobook, I don't remember his name, but I'll put the name here for the credit. He did a fantastic job. The way that he portrayed the characters, the way that he like when he did the dialogue sequences, he had a very good way of sort of channeling the way that they sounded in the movie, and he had really good accents in how he was, I guess I would say, speaking from those characters. And then also just how he was narrating in general was really good. So I really loved the quality of the audiobook. So that was like my little critique on the audiobook side of things. But in terms of the book itself and the contents in it, again, this is something where, the book makes the movie a heck of a lot better. Again, I'm blown away with all the things that you learn more about the characters, more about their backstory. There was even some scenes that weren't even in the movie that were in the book that really helped contextualize a lot of character motivations, especially with Alan Jonah, the bad guy. Because in the movie, we don't really get to know a lot about him. We don't really know his backstory. We don't know his motivation. But in the book, especially, and then also with the comic book Aftershock, we really get to see what Alan Jonah's whole purpose is and all that stuff. And it was really nice to get that backstory. It was just nice to learn more about him. And one of the things that I was confused about was, while the book was going, there was a scene where he was talking to another guy, which I don't even remember his name. He was talking to, I guess, one of the characters that I didn't even know was a prominent character in the movie, but it was like his sidekick or his right-hand man. And he was talking to this character in a completely extra scene. And again, it just gave backstory and context to what he was doing. And it was just really cool to learn more about him. And then with Emma, again, her whole backstory and everything that was going on with her purpose, way better fleshed out here. And then with the whole family dynamic between her and Maddie and her father, just everything way, way better. Similar to what it was with Ford Brody and his dad, and how the book really fleshed out their relationship and motivations and everything like that, and just made everything make more sense, I guess, in terms of how the characters acted and all that. The monster fights, of course, again, similar to how 2014 was, is that, it's hard to write out action sequences like that. But again, the author did a great job. I believe the author, again, was from Greg Cox, who the same guy who did Godzilla 2014. And he did a really good job, illustrating or, trying to, describe the battles going on between Godzilla and King Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra and all that stuff. And actually what was really cool too was the fact that he gave a lot of character to King Ghidorah, especially, I feel. Just during the battles and everything, you really got the idea, even if you haven't seen the film and you just read this book, you really get the idea that King Ghidorah is just this menacing, sinister character that just wants to kill. He did a really good job characterizing him, and I think that was awesome. The movie did a great job with that. I'm not saying the movie didn't do a good job characterizing King Ghidorah, but I feel like the book, he was just able to give more of that character to him, and now when you watch the movie, it just makes it even better. So overall, it was great. The other thing that was kind of interesting was at the beginning of every chapter, there was this, he would do this thing where he would add, I wouldn't really call like fluff content, but it was this like extra added lore, I guess, or just to get you more immersed into the universe, that he would start every chapter with this like, oh, journal entry from blah blah blah, like journal entry from Dr. Serizawa or whatever, and it was like there was a lot of this mythical elements going on, which I thought was really great. I mean, it was cool that there was a lot of this added mythical element to the story. But some of the time it was a little hard to understand because of just the wording and how things were put together. Very like artsy-fartsy type of writing or something like that. I don't really know. But it was appreciated. I thought it gave some good context to the chapter, I guess one last thing I'd like to say is that the other Titans in the movie, the other different kaiju that were introduced in this movie, we barely got to see them in the movie. Like, we had this, like, all these other Titans that pop up, and they only show up for, like, brief moments, and then at the end when they all bow down to Godzilla. But in this, in the book, we actually get, like, scenes per monster when they pop up. So, the monster that pops up, I think it was Arizona, where with all the, or Arizona or Mexico, I can't remember, but the scene where it's like the spider lakes popping out of the ground with all the oil rigs and everything like that, that actually got like its own set piece scene in the book compared to the movie, rather than just like a 5-second scene. The other thing that was really nice was when Rodan, that whole setting got a completely different side story with a mother and her child, or I think it was maybe the father and the child or anything like that. But again, just more of world building and little things that I feel that if they just added a little bit more in the movie, just would have made it so much better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I really enjoyed it. I'm so surprised that I am enjoying these books, and it really is enriching the Monsterverse to me, and it makes me appreciate the movies a lot more. But again, I will keep on saying that it's just sad that I have to go to this external material just so I can get more appreciation for the movies, rather than the movies doing it on their own. So I really feel like that's sort of the crux of the problem here, is that in order to really understand and fully appreciate the Monsterverse, you have to go to these external materials, and it's kind of bothering, but regardless, it's been fun. And so yeah, next it's on to the prequel comics for Godzilla vs. Kong, so I'm excited to see that. But overall, this is a great novel. I definitely enjoyed listening to it, so I think I'm going to do the audiobook for Godzilla vs. Kong as well, because it's very enjoyable to listen to. So that'll do it for my thoughts on the novelization for Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Stay big, G fans.